to now kind of come out of the hole, if you will. We're a technology company. We serve publishers, producers, advertisers, and we've built a video platform, a marketplace, and a services side of our business. Some of our clients are listed up here, so we work with a variety of companies that do a variety of things with us. Really, the three primary areas are the three things that I described. There's a platform, so we provide a full end-to-end platform for content management, publishing, managing advertising from third-party networks, exchanges, first-party ad servers. And then what's really exciting is our marketplace that helps connect companies with each other. So I'll describe more about that a little later. And then services groups. So we have a lot of services that we provide companies. We build apps. So if you've seen Wall Street Journal on your Samsung TV, that's powered by OneScreen. If you install a Kindle app from Pop Sugar, that's powered by OneScreen. If you're a sort of automotive fan and you install the PowerBlock app on iOS, it's powered by OneScreen. So we do a lot of services for companies. But I think what's kind of interesting for us is how television has evolved. So I think video and television, the kind of definitions are merging. We've kind of broken out the eras into three big categories. First, there was the soap opera era, and that was when Dove and or Unilever or Lever Brothers at the time, Dial Corp and so forth, worked with three broadcasters, and they made shows together. And they reached every household with 3 channels, very little effort. Of course, they had to make content for the first time, but they didn't have to deal with so many channels and so many distribution mechanisms. Then there was the cable box era, the cable era where it went to 1,000 channels. And now content owners needed to produce content. There were thousands of buyers. So, there was this sort of the blossoming of new companies that would go out and either make shows or buy them. And then came the internet era, where now we have millions of channels to access content, and of course for advertisers to buy that media. So kind of how we think of media buying today, there's sort of 4 big categories for us. There's the sort of the upfront model where you go up front and you sort of bid for inventory before it's even created. The other is sort of direct selling. So you have inventory, you want to sell it directly, so you work with, of course, or you buy directly if you're an advertiser, but if you're a publisher, you're selling directly. You use ad networks to find your audience and the inventory, or obviously sort of the talk of the town is programmatic buying. So that's kind of the 4 big categories that we sort of see here. And then in terms of this sort of the title of our presentation, which of course we had to kind of come up with something for marketing purposes, was the tipping point. Sort of where are we right now? So there are sort of 4 key issues that we at OneScreen are really focused on solving. One is relationships. So we already know that finding an ad network, doing direct selling, if you're a media buyer, finding publishers that you could run against, that's still a problem to identify those people, and this is why you use ad networks and programmatic buying. The economics. Video is kind of a confusing area right now. Sometimes you'll get an insertion order for, if you're a publisher, that could be in the double digits. Sometimes it's low digits. And if you're media buying on the advertising side, you still don't have an easy way to know how to price your advertising purchases. And then, of course, there's the creative problem. So now that you want to buy media, you know who you're going to buy it from, you now need to make sure you have creative for all the different ways that it could get distributed. So different screens, Firefox doesn't run MP4s, so you need WebM encodings, and so you're dealing with a lot of logistical problems, and I'll show you guys examples of that in a second. And then finally, the distribution. So once you've got the creative and the pricing's working and you have the relationships, how do you actually see it through and make sure that it gets fulfilled? So what we've done at OneScreen, and just having been in the video space for so long, is we've launched what we call the Media Graph. And I think there's something's interesting at these events when I ask people if they know some of these events. So who knows what MIPCOM is here? Anyone? All right, great. So maybe 10% of the people. It's a small group, so it was 3 hands. But the key is MIPCOM is actually a physical event where buyers and sellers of content meet. So I haven't even gone yet, but Fremantle has a booth. NBC Universal has a booth. These booths are where you go and discover the latest formats, so the latest shows that they have available to purchase. Maybe it's buying reruns or licensing sort of older libraries of content. And it's actually a real physical event that happens every year. Of course, there's the Upfronts, new fronts, all the different fronts that are coming out. And that's also a physical event. You participate in this, you buy media and so forth. And then, of course, how you find people to work with, you use LinkedIn, right? So you go out and you sort of troll LinkedIn, which is kind of like the new thing to do. And you find an ad network contact and you call them and you say, can I get advertising if I'm a publisher? Or if you're a media buyer, you want to sort of identify who you could buy media from. And you go to LinkedIn and you find some relationships. And then from the content side and maybe even the publishing side, you look at trends from places like YouTube. So you identify what content is hot, who you could work with, what channels of content you could license or embed on your site. And then, of course, you have your email and your telephone that you use. So what we've done is, in the media graph, if you're a media stakeholder, whether you're an ad network, an exchange, whether you're an advertiser, a publisher, a content producer, you actually could create an account, self-service. You could set up a profile. So very soon you'll be able to build unlimited profiles for yourself. So if you think LinkedIn personally, now you can actually build a business profile for your media business. And you're going to be able to manage all of the aspects of that profile. So you'll be able to promote your content if you're a producer. You'll be able to sort of open up campaigns if you're an advertiser. So you'll be able to, invite publishers to see what campaigns you have active and potentially request to participate in that. And, one of the most exciting things is obviously the discovery angle. So us, what we're doing actively is building on our data and how much we see going on, not for ad targeting so much, but more for connecting two businesses together. So if we identify that you use a lot of travel content and new companies join that have that travel content, we could actually connect you. Proactively or recommend it, just like you would do on Facebook and Google+. Same goes with advertisers. So if you've had success buying advertising in one place, you'll be recommended to potentially buy from somewhere else. So really excited about that. Now, in terms of how advertising fits in, because that's kind of what we're talking about today, first of all, when you log into the interface today, if you register, you won't see an advertising tab in the interface. And that's actually coming in the next couple of weeks, where you'll have the ability to manage self-service advertising. So if you're a publisher, you'll be able to integrate your servers, your networks, your exchanges. If you're a media buyer, you could actually also plug in your ad server and buy media that way. But one of the most important things for us is simplifying integration. So right now, if you work at an ad network or you work at a server, an exchange, or even a publisher, an advertiser, you're probably dealing with tags, VAST tags, XML tags, URLs, macros. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually focus heavily on making these integrations very aware. So instead of pasting in a ComScore pixel or beacon as a URL, you'll actually be able to just integrate a plugin that is aware of the URL structure to make it easier for everyone. Same thing for ad networks, ad servers, and so forth. And I'll show you an example in the next slide here. We're going to eliminate a proprietary ad wrapper that we have. So right now, what we do is we actually have built our own proprietary daisy chaining advertising system inside of our video players and our ad server. We're actually going to eliminate that and just use VAST tags. And so we've introduced a very interesting product that will simplify it. We're going to consolidate all the ad management into that single interface, which will be great for smaller companies who, we believe have a great audience but have no video. They need access to that video. They have, maybe they're a WordPress blogger or whatnot, but they have a pretty big following. Now they'll be able to get content. They'll be able to publish that content in video players and such, and that. And if they get an ad tag from their ad network partners that they already work with in display, they'll be able to integrate that in. And then, of course, cross-device media files get automatically generated. So, because we're a video platform, we have the luxury of having a full-fledged encoding platform built in, so we can actually simplify it. So here's kind of an example. The font is super small, but this is an example of ad networks that actually are integrated into one of our publishers. So here you have, Tremor, Videology, 24/7, some of our sort of co-sponsors through the day. And we work closely with a lot of these guys, but the key is making those integrations easier. So if you look at the URLs, and this is no one's fault, it's just how every company sort of builds their own technology. To integrate ad serving, you have some that don't even want the refer URL, some that do, some you could override it, some you can't, some need cache busters, some don't, some are vPaid, some are vast, some want the video ID, some don't care about it. And so what we're going to be doing is making these integrations, again, very aware so that you don't even have to worry about that. And that also introduces opportunities for the servers, the networks, and the exchanges to collaborate with us to make sure that they're getting as much information possible to make their advertising, better targeted and also from a performance metric. So I'm going to show a couple of things on my screen here. So let's see. I think a couple of cool examples of some clients that are using our platform here. Let me just make sure I can drag this over here. So one of the examples here is, let me just do something here. Sorry, guys. And the scaling might be a little bit off right now, but this is an example of that proprietary ad wrapper that onescreen built here. So you could see the daisy chaining of ad networks that are here. But what we've done is we've introduced the ability to automate that. So I'm going to actually show you how this works. So instead of having to predefine the daisy chaining, you'll be able to call the ad server or our system and actually pick the best performing one at that time or historically. So if I keep going back to the ad server, and so if the video player is taught how to come back again by simply attaching a number at the end of the URL, I can actually see that every call is unique, and then I no longer have an ad to run. And if I reset the session here, as if I'm a new session, I could restart, and now it goes through the daisy chain. And again, all of these integrations are really well aware. They know what the URL structure should be. And so we've actually done this and are starting to deploy this across publishers, and it really makes it easy for everyone. So if you're an ad network and you don't want to buy certain audiences, you could actually be slowly removed from that chain so that you're not even called. It saves money, it saves time, it saves headache, discrepancies, and so forth. So again, you could actually target yourself into these. And I think from the industry standpoint, a lot of the industry is driven by predefined daisy chaining. So this is actually a really exciting thing. So some of our clients include, again, like I was mentioning, Univision, Wall Street Journal, and so forth. This is part of our syndication platform. So what you're looking at here is a really neat integration. This is pre-roll coming from, I believe, Freewheel in a syndicated player. And it's all designed, that whole box is designed through CSS, JavaScript, and our SDKs. And it's being syndicated across dozens of sites. This is an example of our device application. So this is a HTML5 platform. This single piece of code actually is in about 20 different TV manufacturers. So we have an automated system to actually build this. Of course, there's advertising that could be integrated. We're probably just not seeing an ad right here. We also have some rich media capabilities also being built into our platform here. So this is a radio station customer of ours. They've done some really neat sort of big I guess full screen experiences with BlackBerry and Alicia Keys, all sort of built on our OneScreen platform. And again, this is using content management, publishing, and advertising. So this is all sort of tracked with pixels and so forth. We also have, other clients like, I'll use this example, Women's Forum here, which on their homepage, for instance, has integrated our video capability. Let's just, internet. We'll just skip that one. We'll just go to local.com here. So, local.com is an example of a customer that has a lot of sort of local traffic. And so they've actually started to integrate movie trailers and things like that. And again, they've never done video before. They were able to log in, obtain content rights, design their video player experience, and also see ads integrated instantly. So these are just some of the examples that we have, and we have a ton more. I would suggest everyone take a moment. And again, MediaGraph is a business-to-business platform. So we're kind of in this funk right now where users are starting to register kind of themselves. But it is a business-to-business platform, so I would suggest if you haven't and your company doesn't have an account, definitely do that. And especially over the next few weeks and months, you'll hear more and more about it because we believe that every media company should have a profile and account on our platform. So anyway, everyone's watching this trailer now, not paying attention to me. So I think that's really it. I just wanted to come up here and kind of make ourselves presentable and make you guys aware of what we're doing. Again, we're a quiet little company out in Irvine, but you'll hear more about us. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to us in any of those ways, and there's a few of us here today.